Hello students, welcome once again to the V lecture of strategic management. I think it's been a quite interesting discussion in the last 11 chapters. We talked about the various components of strategic management process. A strategic management process wouldn't be complete if you don't touch upon strategic leadership and corporate governance, which is the next chapter. These two components have been included into this particular subject because we feel that it is of paramount importance to have the best strategic leadership driving the organization strategy, and also the organization to demonstrate highest level of corporate governance and code of ethics and conduct. So with this introduction, let me take this particular subject forward, strategic leadership. Strategic leadership is all about leading the organization in the front and becoming a role model and benchmark for the entire organization to follow. Before I want to bring a famous quote by Mr. Jack Welch, former CEO of GE. Before you become a leader, success is all about growing yourself. But when you become a leader, success is all about growing others and the other organization. So your responsibility and accountability becomes much broad-based, and you are going to focus on the people who are going to deliver the execution, the strategic execution. So it is very important to understand what is strategic leadership, what kind of role it plays in strategy formulation and strategy execution in an organization. So obviously that's why I've included this particular chapter in the subject. So let's understand what is the learning objective here. So we want to understand the importance of leadership and corporate governance, understand how to build a learning organization as part of the strategy, to understand the importance of emotional intelligence. We are going to talk a little bit about Mr. Daniel Goleman's emotional intelligence model, how he relates emotional intelligence to the growth of an organization, and how people empowered in an organization and motivated in an organization will definitely help successful implementation of strategies. I think that's the whole background of emotional intelligence. To assess leadership vision, value and culture. What kind of leadership vision, value and culture you bring to the organization. To learn organization corporate governance, to learn corporate ethics and social responsibility. So these are the learning objectives going forward in these two chapters. What is strategic leadership? Without, generally, as Jack Welch said, without strategic leadership at the top of the organization, the individual employees are less likely to be empowered and therefore less likely to develop their own leadership skills. It is very important that the leadership is able to impart a continuous learning for the organization, thereby motivating the people. In a knowledge economy, learning is everything. People look forward to learning a lot of things from their leaders, and thereby they draw motivation and inspiration in order to join the journey of strategy formulation and strategy execution. So there are many challenges a leader faces while creating an organization in which people continually learn. So it is very, very important because otherwise the employees don't stay with the organization and the organization will go through a lot of churn in terms of employee, customers, partners. The brand image, it will impact the brand image in a significant manner. So having said this, we'll talk about what is strategic leadership. It's an organization that aspires for high growth and globalization of vision. There are always complexities and uncertainties. In a world where Indian companies are pursuing global aspirations and they have strategies to expand business for with a high growth, high profitable growth. So you need to have the most motivated and empowered employees who can take the company from one level to the next level of the journey. So that's why the whole world is filled with uncertainties and complexities. The environment is getting complex and changes are happening every day. It is very important for organization to sustain a model of engagement with employees and inspire them all along to achieve the set goals. It is always the great leadership that mitigates these risks. So you need to have strategic leadership and great leadership at the top. Thereby, it plays a critical role in directing the organization in terms of change management process, guide the organization into the future. Right? So the very purpose of great leadership is to bring inspiration, excite the people, make the people, engage with the people, and ensure that the people are empowered. They are educated at every level of their job role. They are kind of empathized for the work that they do for the organization and execute together the vision that they have for the organization. So the 6E model that I talk about for a great leadership is about first E stands for envision. So the leader is not visioning is putting the vision on his own, but envision makes it an inclusive vision, and every employee has a buy-in to the vision, and they know the purpose of the organization, where they are moving in terms of its direction. The second E talks about you need to educate the people, you need to educate every employee, you need to enable them so that they are completely aware of how the organization is going to achieve the goal. The third one is empowerment. You need to provide them the empowerment, you need to provide them delegation of authority, you need to give them a fair amount of decision making, you need to provide them tools and resources for them to get empowered to participate in the journey. The next one is always about empathy, how the leadership is able to empathize with the employees in terms of their contribution to the organization. So how do you motivate them in case of failures, in case of challenges, in case of roadblocks and complexities on the way to executing the challenge, executing the strategy. The last E stands for basically enjoy the whole journey and together celebrate the success. So I think so it's all about great leadership that will mitigate the risks, and they become the role model, and they become the change agent for the whole organization, and the whole organization looks up to them for direction. Let's see what are the key differences between leadership and management. The key responsibilities of a management are coping with organization complexity, planning and budgeting, operational control, implementing strategy, staffing and resourcing, controlling and problem solving, escalation management, efficiency and effectiveness in operations. So these are the management responsibilities. Let's talk about what are the key responsibilities of leadership. So leadership is all about creating vision, an inclusive vision which sets the direction for the company for the next few years. Formulation of strategy, understanding what are the, how the external environment is, what business I need to be in, how do I build a strategy where, comparing my internal capabilities with the external, requirement, external environment. Communicating with stakeholders to align them to set the vision. So it is very important, communication with all the stakeholders, all the stakeholders, be it the management, the employees, customers, partners, the whole society. Dealing with change, mitigating risk continually. So how do you continuously get involved to deal with change, and how do you forecast risks, uncertainties, and mitigate them continually. Motivating and inspiring actions, inspiring actions in employees. How do you motivate them continuously? How do you empower them? Recognizing and rewarding people. So I think it's clearly the difference between management and leadership. You can see two different dimensions of the same person, a CEO, for example, or a business unit owner, or a business unit leader, or a functional unit leader, how they have to manage between management and leadership. Both are critical to the success of an organization. Leader influences attention of employees, helping them to stay their attention focused on the goals and inspiring them to create actions. So leader creates action, inspires action. It's always about telling the employees why they have to do rather than how and what. I think if you are able to establish, connect with employees, why this organization needs to grow, why this organization needs to take this path and the vision, your job is half done. Then automatically the what and how part will fall in place. So I think influencing and inspiring the employees is very critical, characteristic of a great leader. Leader, there are different types of roles of leader. A leader as a designer, designing the vision and strategy, structure and core values. He sets, understanding the composition of the entire organization, he sets the culture. What is the benchmark that we need to set for ourselves in order to create a set of values that will stand for its culture. Lead in a globalized economy is all the more important because you are trying to integrate, the culture of different countries, and you need to bring out the essence of all the cultures put together, and then bring out 3 or 4 values that you want your employees to demonstrate in their behavior. Leader as a teacher, creating awareness for effective strategy execution. So you need to communicate, you need to educate, you need to empower them, continuously, so that they are aware of their vision and strategy and their role in the execution. Leader as a steward. Leader assumes the role of stewardship for all the people in the organization. So he becomes the owner, he becomes accountable for all the people in the organization, whether they do badly or good, whether they fail or succeed. I think, that part, holding them together and then ensuring that the collective wisdom and compassion of the organization is unlocked, so that the organization gains, in terms of the strategy execution momentum, and then they'll be able to reach the vision in the times to come. Leadership skills for effective strategy implementation. What are the different, so how do you, that's what I said, envisioning, building a shared vision, overcoming challenges. Here you need to enable, empower, educate the people. So then they will, so you have to provide them education, you need to provide them tools, you need to provide them resources, they're able to overcome challenges. Creating mental models, how do you create mental models of, execution, so people continuously learn in the process to, in the execution of strategy. Systemic thinking, how do you bring about a systemic thinking and a collaborative attitude within the system, so it becomes, it's not a single person dependent kind of an organization. If the person leaves, that, that leaves a huge vacuum. So it has to be a systemic thinking. Effective decision making, how do you empower employees to really think in taking critical decisions on day-to-day execution of the strategy. So these are characteristics of an effective leader in the strategic implementation. Continuing on that list, managing change. Because of uncertainties and challenges, there is always change that's happening in the environment, both within the organization and also in the external environment. So obviously you have to continually, manage change and mitigate the risks continually as well. Coaching and mentoring and engaging and developing with others. I think it's a continuous process. Every leader within the organization, top level, senior level, middle level, junior level, I think at all levels the reporting team should look up to the leader, their leader, in terms of, can I be coached? Can the leader coach or mentor, develop the team, inspire them, engage with them so that they stay with the company. They understand the common goal of the company. They understand the vision of the company. Why the strategy execution is very critical. So unlocking leadership potential in others. So how do you tell them that you have potential, capability to become the next leader? So how do you create a succession planning, for example? Performance management. Performance management should be objectively handled. It should be objective based rather than subjective based. Motivating through vision and culture. We have seen that. I think it's a very critical element of, successfully implementing strategy. The leader has to ensure that he is inspiring and motivating the people through his vision and culture. Role of emotional intelligence in strategic leadership. One of the things which I have covered in detail is about Mr. Daniel Goleman's emotional intelligence model. So here if you look at how emotional intelligence, you can go through the book in detail. It will present a great opportunity for leaders to really embrace emotional intelligence as one of the enablers, one of the tools that they can use to engage with people, excite people, inspire people, and unlock the wisdom and compassion of people who are there in the organization in their journey towards strategy execution. So one of the things is self-awareness. How do you create self-awareness? Ability to recognize and understand personal moods and emotions, drives. Self-regulation, correction, self-correction and self-regulation, ability to control and redirect disruptive impulses and moods. How do you remove the negativity? How do you remove the disruptive mood and sentiment within the organization? How do you positively inspire them? Internal motivation, passion exhibited by an employee to work for internal reasons beyond money. Money is one of the motivators, but how do you look the organization vision and strategy beyond the compensation that you get? How do you passionately look at the vision and strategy, and you contribute your role, your contribution of efforts and hard work into achieving the strategy. It also helps unlock the wisdom and compassion. Like I said, it's all about how people can unlock the entire, that's where you get the maximum potential getting unlocked within the organization. So it benefits the strategy execution as well. So it is a very important piece of emotional intelligence. Empathy. I talked about empathy, how the ability to understand the emotional makeup of other people, and it's a skill in how to treat people in their good times and bad times, because it's very important. Each and every employee has professional side and personal side. So obviously they are trying to cope up and balance between the personal side and the emotion, the professional side. You can't only look at the professional side of the performance without looking at the personal impact, personal side sentiments of the employee, which can create negative impact on an organization if should the employee is going through a personal challenge. So I think empathy is very important. Supportive and cooperative is also important. Social skills, proficiency in managing relationships, building networks, and an ability to find common ground and build rapport. Social ability, everyone should have their social networking skills. With today's world, social media, which is very predominantly impacting any organization strategy, social skills is very important. How employees, how leaders are able to, network with, manage relationships in a social network, and build their own network to, one is to create visibility for your organization, create visibility for your product and services, create impact in the social media or other social society in terms of what your organization is planning to do, not just the financial and economic interests, but also how it can make economic social impact in a larger sense. So this is very important, the ability of the leader to lead with social skills as well. Leadership vision and values. Besides the capability and personality traits that define the characteristics of an effective leader, so one is the personality trait and the capability. You need to have these characteristics of an effective leader. There's a need to address the role of leaders in relationship to organization's vision and culture, because the value system that you are able to bring to the table. How do you become a role model in terms of, if you're talking about, I said about in the previous chapter, if respect for individuals, integrity, inclusiveness, or creating a belief system where you believe the customer is the most important person in your business. How do you translate these values into behavior? How do you change the attitude? How do you change the mindset? How do you create a shift in in a cultural change in the organization? How do you inspire the employees with your vision, the idea that you have, the dream that you have for your organization? I think all that is important. Studies show that characteristics of a visionary organization demonstrate its ability to manage change, continuity simultaneously to deliver sustained performance. Obviously, change management and continuity of managing the business is very important. You have to manage change at the same time. You need to have business continuity. You can't forego one for the other. So it is very important to deliver. It is very important to deliver sustained performance of the organization. Visionary companies have core values and purpose. The core values are generally the principles based on which a firm is founded, and the organization purpose is the reason why it exists. So this is said many times in the previous chapters also. The organization stands for its purpose, why it should exist, and then what and how follows later. So first you are able to establish, connect yourself with your vision in terms of why you exist. What is the purpose? What is the purpose of its existence with all the stakeholders? That means you are really able to make it as an inclusive vision, right? So thereby, the core values are the founding principles of your organization. So the belief system, the value system, the culture system will come a long way in the strategy execution. So I think these two things are core values and creating purpose, which is a vision. Value and vision coexist with each other. It cannot be it cannot be separated. So I think that is where leadership brings in its ability in order to visualize what the organization is going to do, in order to visualize what its purpose, and in order to bring in a change in the value system for in the positive manner. Levels of agility in leadership culture. We talk about different three types of leadership agility. One is expert agility, expert leadership. Managers operate within silos with little emphasis on cross-functional teamwork, which is not each domain, each function is a domain in itself, and they have expertise. But on a collective basis, the organization doesn't demonstrate cross-functional teamwork, which is not always good. Achiever leadership. Managers articulate strategic objectives, make sure they have the right people and processes in place. So you have to have achiever leadership. You need to have right people at the right time at the right place. Catalyst leadership, animated by compelling vision that includes high levels of participation, empowerment. This is what catalyst leadership. It is inspirational leadership sometimes. How do you have inspirational leadership? Thereby you're influencing the behavior of the entire organization in terms of participation in the strategy execution, empowerment, and teamwork. How do you lead the strategic change? Every organization has to go through a major change. Each organization has been formed by communities of people with multicultural diversity. In today's globalized world, every organization is coming with multicultural diversity and brings different characteristics. So how do you commonalize, how do you consistently put together a collaborative framework so it all brings positive impact on the strategy execution? I think that is leading the change. So change management and leading the change without impacting the business continuity. I think that is change management and business continuity or like vision and values coexist with each other. For any idea to succeed, it must align with one of the different types of cultures. So this is any idea to succeed, you need to align completely with the culture of the organization, or you create a culture which will take the idea forward and achieve the vision. Leading strategic change. Best practices in any leadership is to take a system-based approach rather than individual-based approach. Alignment between different parts of the organization rather than taking piecemeal-based approach. So, in a matrix organization, this is easily achievable because you have a common vision, common strategy, and then individual business unit strategy and functional strategies clearly aligned with the corporate strategy. And then the strategy formulation also, strategy formulation, translating vision into strategy, strategy into a structure into activities, objectives and activities. So everything becomes consistent and it becomes a system-based approach rather than an individual, function or individual leadership level, approach. The alignment of new ideas with strategy enables the change process and creates stakeholder value for the organization. So how do you align the new ideas with strategy? How do you align the new ideas with change process? How do you align the change process with the new culture? So it creates more stakeholder value for the organization. Everything is interrelated, So alignment of new ideas, with a strategy enables change process, So there people have buy-in and it also creates stakeholder value. Culture is more powerful than anything else in an organization. We talked, I think, many times about organizational culture. In today's organization, you have cultural diversity, and how do you tap the potential of each and every each culture in order to achieve the common goals of the organization. Culture becomes one single important factor in any organization's growth going forward. I think it's very powerful system. The culture plays a very critical role in the strategy formulation and strategy execution. Impact of chaos in leadership. I thought I'll touch a couple of points in this particular area. Leading transformation requires more advanced people and process skills. So transformation is not easy, it's complex and it is challenging. So you need to have leadership skills that require more advanced people and process skills. Transformation always impacts people significantly. Any transformation or change, transition from the current state to the future state of an organization, it impacts the organization significantly, particularly the people and processes. So it requires a shift of mindset, shift of attitude and behavior, and shift in culture to align with a new strategy, align with a new direction. So I think that's how you can avoid chaos. Otherwise it will have a major impact on the strategic leadership. So overall, strategic leadership is an important component. The strategic management process would not be complete without giving thought process on how strategic leadership is going to impart stakeholder values for the entire organization, be it people, be it its other stakeholders like customers, partners, and shareholders. Leaders play leaders play a role in developing shared vision and creating values that an organization stands for. So leaders have to really influence the behavior of the entire organization. Roles and responsibilities of top leadership are very critical in the effective execution of strategy. Values defined by a leader help the organization to look up as a guide, as a mentor, as a coach in ensuring implementation of the strategy. The entire organization looks up to the leader in terms of as a guide, as a mentor and a coach. Hey, how do I move forward? What kind of direction the organization is setting for itself? So I think it's very, very, very important. It entails high complexities which a leader is able to address. So the leadership is going to unlock this complexity into simple a behavior change in the organization, and sets the organization in a direction that it will reach the growth path as per the purpose, as per the vision, and as per the value system that the leader is able to create. So creating a value system and a culture is the most important and critical component of strategic leadership. So that's how you become a inspirational leader, bringing about a catalyst leadership, and evoke the entire organization gets excited to take the journey along with the leader. And with this, we complete the strategic leadership. It's a very important, detailed chapter in the book. I would request you to urge you to go through that book, and if you have any questions, please do come back to me, and I'll be very glad to answer them. And till then, next chapter is about corporate governance. We'll be talking about it in a short while. Till then, I would like to thank you and then say goodbye. Bye. Take care.